All right, hello, Scoutwood families. Welcome to another exciting edition of Dynamic Debate. We have an excellent topic again for you today. We are doing birds versus bats.
But bats, birds, they both fly, right? They must be the same, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wrong! There are big differences. We're going to give you some facts, and then you can decide which are better. Birds.
Or bats. Well, obviously I'm going with bats. Bats are the only flying mammals in the world. And they are mammals, which means they're warm-blooded. They have fur. They have live babies, which are called pups. The mamas feed them milk, and there are over 1,400 different species of bats.
Well, that's pretty interesting, but I think you're going to find this a little more interesting. Birds have feathers, wings, they lay eggs, and they have adapted skeletons. That means their bones are hollow like a straw in order to help them fly. It's less weight. That's pretty cool.
That is.
Yeah. There are about 10,000 different species of birds,
Wow.
and they live on all 7 continents.
All right. That is interesting.
All 7. And scientists believe that birds evolved from dinosaurs. Who doesn't love dinosaurs?
Like little T-Rexes just trying to fly.
Not quite, but
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well, bats are found on almost every continent. They're not on Antarctica because, it's cold. So, it's cold. Now, bats vary in size from the smallest bat, which is called the bumblebee bat. It actually weighs less than a penny. So if you put a penny in your hand, there is a bat that weighs less than that penny. The largest one is the flying fox, and it has a wingspan of 6 feet. So that's like this, okay? 6 feet. 6 feet for hugging. All right? Now, their wings, bats' wings are pretty cool. They are not covered with feathers because bats do not have feathers. Their wings are kind of like hands. And there is 2 layers of skin that goes in between the fingers, and they can actually move their wings like hands, which means that they can hold their food while they're eating it. They can even give you a hug if they wanted to. A hug.
The last thing I want right now is a hug from a bat.
But they're covered with fur, so it's like a warm hug.
Now, as I mentioned, birds have feathers. Not only do the feathers help it fly, they also help to keep birds warm and dry. They can show off to other birds, and they can actually use their feathers as camouflage. It helps them hide out in the wild so that predators can't attack them. Now, the bee hummingbird is the smallest living bird at just 2 inches in length. And the largest is the ostrich, which can weigh up to 250 pounds with a wingspan of just about 7 feet. About as tall as LeBron James.
That's a big bird.
That's a big bird. Its eggs can equal 24 chicken eggs. That's
Put a little bacon with that. You got yourself a good breakfast.
That's an omelet.
That is
telling
huge.
You. Yeah. And most birds are diurnal. Sorry, had a little bit of pronunciation problems there. Most birds are diurnal, which means that they're active during the day and they sleep at night.
Well, bats are the opposite of that. Bats are nocturnal, which means they're sleeping during the day and they're out flying at night. So if you see something flying around at night, it is actually most likely a bat and not a bird. Now, because bats are flying at night, they don't see with their eyes. They're using their ears to do their seeing. They use something called echolocation. Echo, echo, echo. Location. So what they do is they put out these sounds, and we can't even hear these sounds, okay? They're very high pitched. And the sound waves travel through the sky. And if those sound waves hit something, then they actually bounce back to the bat's ears. And the bat knows how close it is. Now, if they put out that sound wave and it doesn't hit anything, then they know that they can just go ahead and fly straight ahead. It's pretty amazing. And bats can fly up to 100 miles per hour. Now, most bats do like to hibernate in the winter because, it's cold. Who doesn't want to sleep in the winter? But some of them do migrate to warmer places.
There are days I wish I had echolocation and I could tell where things were from the sound. Well, not all birds migrate, but in America, about 75% of birds do for various reasons. Better food source, better climate. Who doesn't want to go to Florida in January? But Arctic terns. These are absolutely incredible birds. They have the longest annual migration of any bird. They actually fly from the Arctic to the Antarctic, about 25,000 miles, and then, in the same year, make the return journey.
That sounds exhausting. That's exhausting. Like, why would they do that? It's cold. It's cold. Pick a location.
They have their reasons.
Yeah, I think we just proved bats are smarter, okay? That just proved that right there. All right, food. Bats. They can eat fruit. They can eat fish, nectar, small birds, lizards, frogs. There are even 3 species of vampire bats that live in Central and South America that eat only blood. They do not turn into vampires, okay? It's not Dracula. No. And most bats, though, like to eat insects. Now, I don't know if you know this about insects, but insects have an exoskeleton that's usually shiny called chitin. When bats eat those insects and then they poop later, the poop sparkles. The poop can sparkle. Sparkly poop. I win.
She has wanted to share that fact with you and anyone else who will listen for the last 3 days.
If you're going to poop, you might as well make it sparkle.
Well, birds eat a lot too, and they have various foods depending on the various birds. They'll eat insects, worms, grubs, seeds, grasses, plants, nectar, pollen, nuts, fruits, rodents, snakes, and other small animals. And to get rid of that food, they got a little bit of a different system than humans do. See, birds, because they're lightweight, don't have bladders to store urine.
That's pee.
Scientists use the word urine.
It's pee.
So anyways, to get rid of the waste, what they produce instead is that white pasty substance that a lot of us see on our cars.
When you park under a tree.
Yeah. But at least now we know what that is.
Right.
Why it's that way. Yeah.
Doesn't sparkle.
Doesn't.
All right, are you ready?
It's time for
Fun Fact Frenzy.
Number 1, most talkative bird in the world is the African gray parrot. One could say over 800 words.
20 million Mexican free-tailed bats live in one cave outside of San Antonio, Texas.
Hummingbirds can fly backwards.
Bats have belly buttons, and they're so cute.
There are some bird species that are so smart they can create and use tools to get their food.
Bats sleep upside down. Like, they do everything pretty much upside down.
Yeah, that's something none of us knew.
They like to hang with their homies, okay? They're hanging with their homies upside down.
So, final thoughts. Ask yourself this. What would the world be like without birds? Insects would be everywhere. Birds eat 400 to 500 million tons of insects each year. We would lose plant life. About 5% of the plants we use for food or medicine are pollinated by birds. Rabies and tuberculosis would spread more rapidly without vultures and other scavenger birds eating the remains of dead animals. I could go on and on about the beauty of birds, their songs, how they bring us joy. But I think now we can all see how important birds are to the world.
Well, birds are important, but so are bats. And actually, bats do a lot of those same things. There's one brown bat that can eat 1,200 insects in 1 hour. I know, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
And that's just one bat in 1 hour. Bats eat insects just like birds. Bats also help pollinate a lot of our plants. They help spread seeds. If we didn't have bats, we could say goodbye to bananas, mangoes, avocados. I mean, that's guacamole. No more guacamole. They actually help pollinate over 300 different types of fruits, including the cacao plant, which is used to make chocolate. So, you could almost say if there were no bats, there'd be no chocolate. It'd be a sad world.
I would not want to live in a world without chocolate.
No.
And now, Scottwood, it's time for you to make your voice heard. In the comment section below, please vote.
Yep, you're going to vote for bats.
You're going to vote for birds as soon as I find the picture.
No,
Birds.
You're voting for bats.
Jazz hands on birds.
In the comments. One
Also,
word.
you are going to be able to find the results of our very first debate, which was better, lions or tigers.
Yeah.
Those
spoiler
results
alert.
are there. Nurse Casto, hate to tell you, but ligers just didn't make the cut.
Did not.
Sorry.
It was a good
Sorry.
compromise, though. Good try.
It was.
All right. Until next time, Scottwood.
That's it for us, Scottwood.
We love ya.
See you and stay safe.